I'm Sunya Folayan, and this is my YouTube channel, Mind and Manna. This channel centers the voices of Black women 55 years of age and older who wish to improve their finances, improve their cash flow so that they can live up to a more intentional way of life that includes freedom, rest, travel, and ease. And if that topic sounds of interest to you, please go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment on this video and all the other videos that you will see posted. So today I want to talk about some of the financial gains as well as setbacks affecting the finances of Black women. And I'm referring specifically to a study that was conducted by the Dorothy Height Foundation and Fannie Mae Foundation, and it was conducted by the Peter D. Hart Research Associates. This was released before the pandemic. There is another study that's being conducted, which I think the actual study will take place in 2025 to assess the effects on Black women's finances post-pandemic. We already know that the pandemic wreaked havoc among many Black households, Black women run households, because so many of those women were working in frontline positions, often in single parent households. It just made the income gap that much more significant. So I wanted to share a few things that I thought were significant. And there's really good news, and there's some news that means we still have some work to do. In general, the study indicated that Black women have gained more ground over the past decades in terms of financial advancement than have many women in general. That's really good news. But they've also had a lot more ground to cover because of the significant historical wealth gap that has existed in our communities, and that continues. The research indicated that an increased outreach to educate Black women, Black families is needed, and more community-based and more approaches that are more sensitive, less formal and stringent, that address some of the concerns that Black women have felt when they have gone out to other institutions that have not really been that receptive to them. And also, many traditional financial institutions really have income gaps. You know, they're not really willing to work with you if you don't make a certain amount of money. Usually those are six figures. And if you don't make that kind of money, many institutions just don't really want to bother to take the time to work with families or Black women or anyone who doesn't have that kind of income. So I wanted to share some of the findings, and that was that 74% of Black women report that they have it easier financially than their mothers and their grandmothers, and that they have felt that they can see the difference, and that's been reported over the last few decades, and that's wonderful news. However, half of those women say that they're just getting by, or they're struggling, or they're just making ends meet. And 41% have household incomes that are less than $30,000, compared to 33% of all other women. Another fact is that out of the study was that 2 out of 3 Black women are solely responsible for their family's financial planning. Black women have greater control over their own financial situations than do most women, which is really an awesome thing. And I think that's one of the good things that come out of the strong Black woman trope. I mean, we can throw a lot of the other part of it away, but that's really a good thing, that women have autonomy and say so on how they spend their money and the impact that they have on their households. That's a good thing. Also, the study indicated that Black women plan very well for emergencies, and they put a very high priority on preparing their children to be financially independent and to be able to stand alone financially. That's good news as well. On the other hand, Black women experience more obstacles toward home ownership, and that's a key factor of financial empowerment, and also one of the main ways that we can transfer wealth to future and succeeding generations. Only 41% of Black women own their own homes, compared with 66% of other women surveyed. And more than half of Black women rent their homes, and most would like to own their homes, but they often don't know where to start. They don't have the education or the wherewithal, or they have not had the money. And also, there have been trust issues in terms of the whole housing and mortgage process. So those are barriers that need to be overcome. The next thing is that Black women share the same financial goals, hopes, and dreams, of course, that all other women have. But they do utilize consumer financial services to a lesser degree, such as checking accounts, monthly savings plans, college saving plans, IRAs, 401ks, 503bs, and mortgages in smaller numbers than women in general. And most cite the need for, again, better understanding, more education, in terms of how those services can help them to achieve their financial goals. And far too many Black women still trust all of their savings to traditional banks instead of being able to be versed in how to invest that money. And many Black women are still of the mindset of working hard for their money as opposed to understanding how money needs to work hard for them. Also, Black women indicated that discrimination when using traditional banking services was still a factor, and that was identified as a barrier to them seeking services. The other thing is that younger Black women are much more optimistic about their financial situation, and they're more likely to believe in the quote unquote American dream than previous generations. I am wondering how that's going to fare out with the post-pandemic study, because I do know that the pandemic allowed a lot of people to hit the reset button, reconsider, rethink, recalibrate their ideas about things, including work. And with more digital nomads, more online services, remote jobs, women working at home, many people have been thinking twice about going back into that traditional rat race, spending hours in traffic, rush hour, having little time for themselves, coming home just in time to do housework and go to bed and start the whole process all over again. So I'm really curious as to what young women are going to say, young Black women in the next survey, especially with so many more younger women reaching, being prolific about technology and finding ways to do remote work. So there's a lot of hope, and there's also concern in terms of this study. And what it says to me is that we just have it's just really incumbent upon us to make sure that we are making financial education accessible, affordable, fun, collaborative, and that also it's important, I think, for us to include the behavioral and the social components of financial education so that we can help people not only to understand how money works, but to understand all the underlying factors, the behavioral factors that can help us have more success or less success. And if we work together, I think we can do it. Having financial education is crucial to our society functioning well and making sure that we're able to pass generational wealth on to succeeding generations. So that's what I wanted to share. I think, again, it's reason for both celebration and to have some concern, but it just means that we just have to keep working at it. I'm going to continue to share information here as as often as I can. I also have some surprises coming up. I've got a free workshop that's going to be coming up later on in the month of March that I will share probably on my next video. But that's one of the things that I can do to help us move forward. So thank you so much for listening and sharing. Please do include your comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. Indicate your comments. I do look at them. And again, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.